Coming up on Mountain News this morning, COVID-19 testing is ramping up across Kentucky. But in Harlan County, they're finding some of the necessities to do that are hard to come by. And we show you how those working with hospice patients and their families are helping ease the grief for families that go through an already hard time made harder by COVID-19. And in Pulaski County, one woman is churning out as many masks as she can as demand skyrockets after the governor's announcement earlier this week.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Katie Cook. It is Wednesday, April the 29th, and your time is about 5:32. Let's go ahead and check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Brandon, I was pleasantly surprised by how warm it was out there this morning when I was heading to my car.
Absolutely. You'll be pleasantly surprised on your way home later today because you leave a little earlier because you're anchored in the morning. But after that, temperatures are going to dive with that cold front. Let's take a look and see what's going on live pinpoint Doppler radar right now. Some heavier bands of rain into parts of central Kentucky, Lake Cumberland, I-75 corridor, and then some also over toward I-64 up near Moorhead, and then back over going into parts of southern West Virginia. Temperatures this morning, as Katie mentioned, very mild. 67 Irvine, 68 Jacksboro, a lot of 60s across the board. But you get a little closer to the border, 54 Jonesville, 59 in Wise, and 51 here at my house in Letcher County. So again, it's a cooler morning for a lot of folks over this way. But look at the temperature change, 9 to about 27 degrees warmer depending on where you are this morning. Your day planner takes us up to about 73 as we get toward the lunchtime hour at noon. But after that, temperatures will start to fall. The rest of the forecast on the way here in a little bit. Katie?
All right, Brandon, thank you. Well, Kentucky now has more than 4,300 confirmed cases of COVID-19. Governor Beshear announced 230 new cases last night, and we have lost 12 more Kentuckians to the virus, including the governor's friend and someone known as the First Lady of Kentucky Education Television, Lillian Press. At least 224 people have died from COVID-19 in Kentucky, 102 of them in long-term care facilities. Governor Beshear says more than 1,600 people have recovered from the virus. And COVID-19 testing is ramping up across Kentucky as one of those necessary steps to help reopen the state's economy. But in Harlan County, they're finding some of the necessities to do that are hard to come by. Dr. Abdul Dahan has everything he needs to test for COVID-19. He is even beginning to set up a tent outside his office to make testing more accessible and discreet for those who want it. But at noon Tuesday, they only had 9 testing swabs left, and finding more at a small practice is growing increasingly difficult.
I guess it's bureaucracy. I mean, the swabs are available. It's just a matter of getting the system in gear so we can get them and get them going. I have now only 9 left, and I expect I will need many more. So hopefully we'll get them all going. This is not a one-day affair or one-week affair. I think we plan to continue it for the foreseeable future.
Dr. Dahan is working closely with County Judge Executive Dan Mosley to get the swabs. Emergency rooms have been open throughout the spread of COVID-19, but they are facing an indirect issue from COVID-19, people not coming to the ER out of fear. At the ARH emergency room in Hazard, they say they have seen people wait hours, even days, after experiencing something like a heart attack. Here, there are separate lobbies for people experiencing respiratory symptoms. They also screen you and take your temperature at the entrance. Emergency room staff say that it is still crucial people who need immediate medical attention get it.
But unfortunately, if you wait, the longer you wait, the more damaged heart muscle and the more recovery time is necessary for people to resume their normal function. And sometimes you never get back to your normal function.
Now, there are plenty of instances where telemedicine can be the answer, but for things like severe chest pain and kidney problems, they recommend you still come to the ER. As COVID-19 restrictions keep people from gathering in large groups, this can be especially hard for people who lose a loved one. Bluegrass Care Navigators is helping ease the family's grief for families that go through this difficult time, creating compassion bags. The bags include a candle, poem, ribbons, and forget-me-not seeds, just to name a few things. Workers say this helps send a message of support and hope.
Our bereavement team and our chaplains and I work together to come up with some information and some ideas, not to substitute, but to kind of give people ideas for what they could do now and what they might consider later when restrictions are lifted and we can gather.
Bluegrass Care Navigators is accepting donations for their COVID-19 response. We have a link to donate on our website, WYMT.com. The new recommendation from Governor Beshear has many looking for masks. In Pulaski County, one woman is churning out as many masks as she can. She says she wanted to use her skills to give back. WKYT's Shelby Lofton tells us how a hobby has turned into a full-time job.
Kayla Vincent is a stay-at-home mom to her 4-year-old son, Parker. She runs an online shop selling t-shirts and other accessories. But she noticed a need for another kind of accessory.
I would run out to the store, run to McDonald's or wherever, and people wouldn't have masks on that were working.
She uses her leftover fabric to make masks for kids and adults.
It just broke my heart that these hospitals were relying on people to make them masks.
She started with requests for a couple hundred. Pretty soon, the demand outweighed her supply. Her friends and family donated elastic, fabric, and other materials to her doorstep.
I ended up making 958 that I was able to donate with the donations and, all the stuff that people gave.
She gives one mask away to essential workers for every mask she sells. But the price tag only covers the cost of shipping.
I still just don't want to make a profit off of what's going on, even if they are mandatory.
A labor of love from Pulaski County sent to strangers around the country. Shelby Lofton, WKYT.
Kayla Vincent says she has shipped her masks to more than 15 states and donated to 4 Kentucky hospitals. Hairstylists in Kentucky are still closed right now, but some are already planning how they will operate their business when they're allowed to open again. Since having to close, Dita Gregory has been keeping an eye out on cosmetology regulations and what other states like Georgia are doing to prepare, wearing face masks, gloves, and having clients take their temperatures when they walk in are all things she's expecting. And some solutions to distancing have her wondering how scheduling will be handled.
If you can't have more than 10 people in the salon at a time, then that's going to limit your staffing. So then you're going to have a staggered staff. Maybe somebody works Monday, Wednesday, Friday, somebody else does the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and do it that way. So at least you're back to working. Are you working at full throttle? No. Can you double book? No. But it's better than nothing, I guess.
This evening, the governor is expected to provide more details about the opening of more businesses and the gradual lifting of some restrictions. And yesterday in Corbin, the Whitley County Farmers Market had their opening day, but had to follow CDC guidelines. The Kentucky Department of Agriculture also launched a new social media campaign supporting state farmers markets. WYMT's Emily Bennett went to the market yesterday to see how they enforce the guidelines.
When farmers market season arrives,
there you go, thank you.
Nibrock Park in Corbin is usually packed with entertainment.
And we've even got the little puppy shampoos.
But with CDC guidelines, precautions are in place.
We got masks and gloves. We set up water points, water stations, so customers can wash their hands.
Guidelines include 1 shopper per family, social distancing, and not touching items.
The vendors, so one person will bag the produce and one person will handle cash.
Okay.
Whitley County Farmers Market manager Andrew Modica was nervous he would not be able to open, but after being named essential, he is glad to see customers supporting local.
People want fresh produce, and it's less hands touching your produce, it is, because it comes straight from the farmer to you.
Making things even safer by starting a pre-order and curbside pickup option.
We expected to only have a couple orders, but we're in the double digits. We got quite a bit of orders on that, so we're excited about that.
The pandemic is boosting business for vendors Courtney Moses and Paul Dingle.
As soon as everything happened, things just kind of blew up.
Yeah, just the
This is the demand.
the crazy demand. Yeah, so we're just trying to get as much stuff in the ground as possible.
It's been
just kind of
crazy growing season.
crazy. Yeah.
Seeing hope as people are turning to local produce during hardships.
And when you do have to rely on your local economies, you want them to be strong, you know? You want them to be able to withstand something like this.
Hoping that when this is all over,
I'll have a bunch of spring garlic.
people will continue to support their local vendors. In Corbin, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
The Whitley County Health Department was on site to make sure guidelines were followed. The market will be open every Tuesday from 5 until 8 p.m. at Nibrock Park. While social distancing might be canceling get-togethers, one couple in Leslie County celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary yesterday. The Thousand Sticks Volunteer Fire Department held a parade for Paul and Anna Carol Jones. The couple is one of the founding families of the department. Friends, family, and firefighters drove down the Tim Couch Pass with sirens and their lights on. The department said even with the pandemic, you have to celebrate an event like this.
We'll probably have a big get-together and a dinner, you know, especially for that big of occasion. But again, with the coronavirus going around and the distance you have to keep out, just a way to show them that we do appreciate them and how much they're loved.
While the Joneses might not go on calls anymore, the department says they are still part of the family and always will be. Just ahead on Mountain News this morning, we'll show you how the coronavirus pandemic is already changing how some events will work in 2021.
Scattered showers now, more widespread showers later with that cold front coming through. I'll track it out for you in 3 minutes.